Hi guys, it's Mandy here. So tailing off the end of the last video where I was talking about the Johnny Depp case, I just wanted to sort of talk to you guys about what it's like to actually have trauma and what it's like to actually feel, to go through life when you are traumatized. It's very difficult because although I haven't suffered physical abuse, I have suffered emotional and mental abuse. And it's having to live with that is one of the hardest things because it ruins your ability to believe in yourself. I can't imagine what it's like for people who've actually suffered physical abuse. It's a whole different level for some people. And for me, just the mental and emotional abuse that I went through was enough. I don't want to go further than that. I mean, I did get to a point where I understood very clearly why people commit suicide. I never got to the point where I wanted to commit suicide, but I understood why people do it. And that to me was quite scary enough. I didn't ever want to get to the point where I ever wanted to commit suicide. But I have self-harmed in a way because when I used to have my episodes, I would sometimes get so worked up that the voices in my head used to be so, they wouldn't stop to such a degree that I would physically punch myself in the head in an attempt to get them to stop. Yeah, I mean, that's something that people who suffer with trauma have to deal with, and it's not fun. The thing is that when I watch Amber Heard in her interviews, she doesn't come across as someone who's got trauma. She doesn't come across as someone who's actually suffering. I watched a video. I can't remember the name of the person who made it. He took a clip from an actual trauma person in a trial, and he compared it to the Amber Heard one. And you can hear from the way this woman is talking, the actual trauma victim, you can hear her, she's actually having to read her testimony because she is so, if she were to try and speak without a script, it would be almost impossible to verbalize how it feels or to stay on track, because she probably would waffle about things that have no real relevance to what she's trying to say, simply because she's trying to express how she feels. Or she may not be able to even speak. And even when she was reading that script, you can see that she's really struggling to get the words out. She speaks clearly, but she is breaking down, and you can tell by the way her voice breaks. It's real, very real. Her voice trembles. She breaks into tears. You don't even have to see it. I mean, you can't see it on the video because it's poor quality and it's a wide angle shot. So, but you can tell just from how she's speaking that it's very, very difficult for her. I mean, I find it very difficult to even talk about my own experiences, but you know, I don't go into detail about what happened to me because I don't want to go back, but I'm quite happy to explain what it is that I do experience. So my own personal experience of the trauma of what it's like to live with it is, it's very, very difficult too, because of the fact that I wake up, I don't now so much, but I do on the odd occasion now, but because I'm much better. But in the past I have had, I used to have regular nightmares. I used to feel numb. I couldn't think because I was so numb. There was literally blankness. I felt empty. I felt scared. I felt anxious. I felt panicky. And it's, even just describing it is hard to get it out, because it's not easy to talk about. But I think this is the thing, is that Amber Heard, she is insulting to people who have gone through real trauma, because of the fact that you can tell she has not gone through real trauma. She does not wake up having nightmares, because she is the perpetrator. She is the one who is instigating fights between her and Johnny. It's insulting for people who have gone through trauma. He's already been through an abusive situation as a child, and you can tell through his demeanor, he is very withdrawn, he is very shy, he is very quiet in his speaking, he's not overly confident. And the fact that he can be such an amazing actor when he feels like that is incredible. I mean, I have tried acting in the past, and it's very, very difficult for me, because I am so shy and withdrawn, and I found it very, very difficult to make friends, because most people, I don't know why, they just never connected with me. I used to get bullied a lot in school, and I withdrew, and I became isolated, and I took to obsessively watching TV and films, because that was my escape. I was literally trying to escape from this world into another world. And when I stopped watching TV and films, for a time, I obsessively got into gaming, and you can tell. It's very, very easy to see that Amber Heard is not going through trauma, because people who actually have trauma find it very difficult. As I said before, it's very, very difficult to describe what you've gone through without breaking down. And she goes from breaking down to very calm and collected. And from what I've experienced, if you're in an episode where you are breaking down because of the memory of it, it can take you from up to half an hour to an hour, or maybe longer, to calm down. And she goes like that. She can switch it on, and she can switch it off like that. It's not real. If I had an episode in the morning, if I'd had a nightmare in the morning, and I'd woken up anxious and crying, and my partner having to take me downstairs to calm me down, he'd take me to the bathroom to sort of reground me in reality from the horror of the nightmare, and then we'd go back to bed. I'd go back to sleep, and I'd wake up. But throughout the day, I would feel anxious, shaky, tense, and then in the evening I might have another breakdown. So it's not easy to live with. And I used to do that every day for months, and I did for a time. I got onto some medication. It wasn't serious medication, it was more hormonal, because obviously being a female, my hormones go up and down every month, so that seriously created an effect. And so I had to take some hormonal medication to just calm me down, just so I could have like a period of just nothing, so that when I didn't, so I could just feel calm for a period, so I could reground myself in back to reality. And it helped for a time, and then I decided I didn't want to be on the medication again, so I dropped off it. And now I only rely on this these over-the-counter pills that you can get are called Calms, and they're actually really good. I take I take as much as I need to in order to, if I feel anxious, I take them, and they calm me down very, very quickly. They're not very quick, but within a reasonable space of time, they calm me down and I start to feel more normal. But that's now. I mean, back when I was having my serious bouts, it was, I mean, I'm actually shaking right now. I don't know if you can see it, but like, it's just talking about it, I'm shaking. And but yeah, it's not easy to live with. When people, when I talk about having self-harmed, I think this is another thing people don't understand, is the fact that when someone self-harms, it doesn't necessarily mean that they cut themselves or they burn themselves or anything like that. If people are physically punching themselves or pinching themselves or scratching themselves in some way as a result of their anxiety, that can be considered as self-harming, because of the fact that they are still harming themselves. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to distract themselves from the emotional and mental pain that they're going through by giving themselves a physical pain, because physical pain you can get over. If someone punches you in the face, the pain of that is it disappears. You can forget physical pain, but emotional pain and mental pain, it stays with you for the rest of your life. And that's something that I think that's why people harm themselves. I think that's just my opinion on that, because that's from my experience. That's what I feel is what I used to do. I used to try and, for me, punching myself in the head was, it wasn't so much distracting, but it was trying to physically knock out the bullying voices in my head. And this is another thing that I want to sort of quickly talk about, is the fact that, I heard somewhere that, I'm not a religious person per se. I mean, I do wear a cross because it actually gives me comfort, but I don't go to church regularly and things like that. But having said that, I do believe in the power of God's love, because of the fact that when I do have an episode, my partner he'll hold me and he will pray. And every time he does that, it calms me down. It sort of grounds me again. And it's like, so I can be in the height of an episode where I'm bawling my eyes out, screaming and wailing and all that stuff. But as soon as he starts praying, I reground and I calm down. And, it can take half an hour. Like I said, it can take up to half an hour for that to happen. But sometimes if it's better, it can be minutes. So, yeah. So it's just a brief explanation of what it's like to actually have real trauma, so that people can actually recognize when someone's going through something and maybe help them out if they are going through something. So I just want people to recognize what's happening when someone is upset. Maybe don't just ignore them. You don't have to ask them questions. Just be there for them. And I would actually recommend, if you know how to pray, you don't have to believe, but sometimes just the act of praying can calm someone down to such a degree that it will help them come out of it. So if you can just hold them, if they are willing to let you hold them, and pray out loud with them, because it will calm them. It worked with me. I don't know if it'll work with everyone, but it doesn't hurt to try. Yeah, so